In the last video, we talked about mixing downward. If you haven't seen it, you might want to check it out before watching this video, because this video is going to build on that video. But this time, we're talking EQ. Actually, we're going to combine that technique and another technique together to make one super technique. We're going to record some stuff, run a little test, but before we do that, let's talk about frequencies. Okay, I created a little frequency chart here from all the way from 20 hertz all the way up to 20K. Now, I'm in my 40s. I can't hear all the way up there. But maybe if you're like 2 years old, you can still hear up there. Anyway, we've got the rumblies down here. We got the booms, the boom booms. We've got muddy. This is the mud zone right here. We've got boxy hitting about 500 hertz. We've got the honky tonk section, okay? Tinny, harsh, danger zone. Rip your face off, 3K, danger zone. I'm gonna have a whole video on 3K and things around that later time. And then the brittle. This is not your grandma's peanut brittle or anything like that. This is the like things that get brittle. Anyway, this is gonna make a lot more sense when we do our exercise. But I just wanted you to see this chart, and we're gonna reference back to it. We're gonna take this acoustic guitar right here and record it and use it for our experiment. Okay, we've recorded our acoustic guitar. Now we're just gonna listen to it dry, and then after a moment, I'm gonna start sweeping through the frequency spectrum just so we can get our ears and our brains acclimated to it. Okay, that's pretty drastic, but now what I want to do is I'm going to take an overhead shot and I'm going to sweep through again, just like I did, but I'm going to put the chart, the rumblies, the boomies, the muddies, the honky tonks, all that stuff, the danger zone. I'm going to have that on top so you can kind of follow along as we sweep through these frequencies again. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. Now what we're going to do is we're going to listen to it flat, and I'm going to find some areas that I think maybe could be adjusted. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find them, I'm going to boost them to figure out, oh yeah, that's a problem. And then we're going to cut them out. So let's try that. All right, that acoustic guitar actually sounds pretty good just as is. Plus we're going direct. If there was a PA involved, there would definitely be a lot more cutting and just more shaping that would have to happen. And that's a video for another time because we're not going to get into the weeds today. Anyway, that whole technique, there's hundreds of videos just like that. Just exactly what I did on the internet already. Yeah, that's nothing new. But we can apply the last video, which by the way, if you haven't seen the last video, you should definitely see it because it'll apply to this video. That's why I made it before this one. We can apply mixing downward to EQ. So let's check that out. Okay, so how do we mix downward in the EQ section? Well, let's pretend for a moment that the EQ section is our band, okay? So in the last video, we had lots of different instruments. We had drums, we had some guitars, we had keyboard and all that kind of stuff, and the keys were a little too hot, and we had to bring those down. And then once we brought those down, we could hear the drum more, the drums, the guitar, the bass. We could hear everything a little bit more. So imagine for a second that we're just focusing on this acoustic guitar, and the EQ section, the boomy area, the honky-tonk area, the danger zone, all those areas are different channels. And we need all that stuff to create a sound that sounds natural. But some of those channels or frequencies might be a little too hot. So we're just finding which ones and bringing them down. These are the cuts that we made with the direct signal. And as you can see here, we've got 170, pretty close to 500, getting close to 1.5K, which are pretty common. So think of those as our channels. Yes, I realize there's no low cut, and there definitely needs to be some low cut for the PA, for sure. After spending the last 10 years or so training teams, I've learned that if I just take one segment at a time. So this video, really, we're just trying to talk about what are frequencies, how do we sweep through them, how do we find the problem areas, how do we apply that to the mixing downward technique that we learned in the last video. So just wanted that disclaimer. Comment section, hold up. Yes, I realize low cutting needs to happen. Yes. Speaking of the comment section, please leave comments, like, subscribe, share. Share, that's a good one. Share this video, that'd be awesome. Hey, I'll see you in the next video.